Alright, hopefully this will be quick and I won't mess up too much, because I still don't have a editing program. I don't really have a recording program either, so if anyone wants to tell me something I can record videos on, so I can edit them, that'd be cool. Anyways, today we're going to talk about racism and bad words, because today, actually lately, in my English class, we've been reading To Kill a Mockingbird, and that has to do with the era of, like, the Great Depression, where there's a lot of segregation and slaves and stuff like that. So, yeah, we discussed a lot of things before we started reading the book, and it really started to make me sort of mad, because at first the teacher asked, like, oh, when did segregation stop? And I guess the real question should have been when they passed the law saying that you couldn't be prejudiced, you know. Because just because you pass a law doesn't mean that it doesn't exist anymore, sort of like people still smoke weed even though marijuana is illegal. Anyways, I thought that was pretty ridiculous that they thought that, you know, there's no more prejudice in the world. And then I was like, okay, well, that's sort of weird. Then I started thinking, you know, what is prejudice? What is racism? It's basically, well, I think people have a good definition of it, they just can't apply it to other things. You know, it's like favoring one race over another to exclude or include specific races from doing certain things. Like, say, you know, if you think of world leaders and you think of big racists, you probably think of Hitler. And Hitler wasn't just anti-Jew, he wasn't anti-black, he was just pro-Aryan. He had nothing specifically against Jews or Christians or Muslims or blacks or white or Asians. He just thought that his race, the Aryan race, I don't even think it was his race, he just thought the Aryan race, blonde hair, blue eyed Germans, mostly Germans, thought that those were the best race by far, and just thought anyone else just wasn't worth living. He wasn't really against them, he was just so egotistical, really. And now I'm just sort of, yeah. Anyways, so people keep on saying, you know, oh, well, if you say the N-word, you're a racist. And that's like, wait. So I can't call a black person black. Like, yeah, but it's a bad word. Why is it a bad word? I mean, it's what they are. They're a black person. You can call a black person black. It's not offensive unless you want to take offense to it. And it's like, well, it's the way that it's used. It's like, well, you could use any word and it would be considered derogatory. Like, I could offend a black person by just calling them black. I can offend guys for saying they have a penis. It's obvious that they do, but just the way that I say it, they can take offense to it. And it's not because I used any bad words. It's just that I made a sentence insulting. And there shouldn't be any such thing as a bad word or a word that is worse than another word. Because really all the bad words have synonyms that aren't considered bad words, but they mean the exact same thing. Like fuck, fucking sex, shit, crap, poop. Synonyms. You know, nigger, black guy. And if it's the way you use it, there shouldn't be no specific words that are considered bad. if a bad word is considered a negative word, then bad would be a bad word. And how would you know if bad was worse than malicious, or malicious was worse than, catastrophic? There's really no levels of intensity. It's just bad words are negative and good words are positive, and there's nothing wrong with negative words. Anyways, people think like, oh, well, you're just doing that because you're a racist, and, you just want to support, you just don't want to be called a racist. Not really. Going back to what I said before with the Hitler thing, Hitler wasn't really against any specific religion or race or anything. He was just really pro-Aryan, really egotistical. And that's sort of what some organizations like United College Negro Fund, I think it's called, it's specifically positive things to blacks, sort of like positive Aryan Nazis. And it's like, whoa, that's not right. And then, like, in schools we have Black History Month, where we take time out of our days to specifically explore black history. And if you don't like it, you're a racist. When really, I don't really care much about any history, as do few people. And it's like, okay, I don't know why I would be a racist then. And I was like, yeah. It just sort of makes me mad. Really, the only way we can get rid of racism is if we stop preferring a different race. Like, sure, you can be racist if you hate black guys, but if you do that, you're stupid. We as a society would have gotten over the fact of judging people by their skin color. We would have gotten over that in a couple of years. But instead we made a law saying specifically that you couldn't do that. And we all know that people want to rebel and break laws specifically because they want to break laws. And they just have the mindset that, to be a racist, to discriminate. And the only way you can do that really is just think of every single person. We should just get rid of all the color terms. We don't even need to use them in conversation. No discussing blacks, no discussing whites, no discussing Asians, no discussing, you don't have to clump people into that category. It's unneeded, unless you say, what color is his skin? White. That is the only thing that you should associate with somebody with white skin, is that they're white. That's it. Someone has black skin, they're black. Just because they have black skin, they were black, doesn't mean their parents were slaves, and they're totally innocent people. Remember, black people had slaves too in Africa. They had Indian slaves, and they were just as racist as us, because everyone's racist. As a society, so many people are racist, and that's just because we just keep on prohibiting being racist, so people just want to be racist more. And it's really just ridiculous if you actually think somebody is better than somebody else because of their skin color. Then you're just gonna be screwed over in life. Anyways, I've been talking for too much. Yeah, I'm going. Peace.